You can ask me once we're live.
Yes, theoretically speaking, we are live. I'm sorry that we're a bit late because, as usual, something went wrong, and that something was me. I completely forgot the time.
But just as I predicted in the Discord.
Yeah.
No,
not as badly as you'd expected, though.
No.
So, today I wanted to have a small talk about the Nimby. And hi there, Michael, and hi there, Ludicrous. If you guys want to join in the chat, by the way, in the Hangout, you're more than welcome. Let me know. No one is screaming yet.
Oh, no. Hang on, sorry. Oh, jeez, what an idiot. What an idiot. Okay, sorry. I muddled up two messages. One saying hi to Ludicrous, and one asking why he thinks I'm screaming. Do you think I'm screaming?
No, not yet. I hope the sound is good, by the way.
I'm a bit loud. Well, I apologise, but that is in Modwain's control, Michael.
No, that's not in my control, actually, but I can do something about it. That's.
My audio is very loud. Well, that can be adjusted in OBS, for instance. Or
not really, because
voice meter, or do you mean not really?
According to OBS, you're about as loud as I am.
Well, then it's I've never known a stream where Michael hasn't complained about the sound. Yeah, there's something funny with his ears.
It's no, I don't think. So far, I've noticed that he's correct. So I'll take it serious. I see if I can change something.
Okay, I'm just saying that.
No, that's
if there's a complaint about sound, it'll be Michael, and it's quite common.
Michael, is it any better now? No, I'm the one who went softer, so that's not, yeah. It's not OBS. That's the thing, and I don't know how to affect voice meter that much. But
I'm using Windows, Michael. I have no control over the volume. So no matter what I set it to, Windows will adjust it.
And this, unfortunately, is also true. I mean, John and I had this talk in the past, and in all fairness, he is absolutely correct. I mean, I saw him change the settings whilst we shared the screen, and then after a while, the settings changed again, all by itself. So I am absolutely not blaming John on the plenty of things I could blame him for, but this is not one of them.
But it's not my problem. I've not got a problem, Michael. You're the one with the problem, so don't go saying it's my problem.
Anyway, I am curious if it's better now. I mean, it could be. I don't know.
I will try and talk softly, and then they'll complain they can't hear me. But that's okay.
Hi there, Green Badger. So as I said, if people want,
I'm going to have a question for you. I would like to ask it at the very top of the show.
You have to speak
what
up.
Do you understand by Nimby?
Well, that is the topic of the stream, so you have to wait till I get started.
No. You see, for the Nimby, but the first thing you have to do is say what you understand.
And I will once we start. But I'm going to say goodnight to the little one who is here. Hi, little one. Kusje. Mwah. Mwah. Ga je lekker slapen?
Ja.
Welterusten, kleine man.
Okay.
Doei. Doei. So, that was the little one. Welterusten, Eirik.
No, I mean, what I mean is what do you understand by the term? Just what does the term mean? It's an acronym.
It is.
Right?
Yes.
An acronym. What do you understand by it? I know what I understand by it. I want to know what you understand by it.
And for that, you have to wait.
No. Literally, just what does it mean?
Not in my backyard.
Okay. How old do you think it is?
Oh, it's very old.
Oh, okay.
That's very old.
It's not a left-wing thing.
No, not at all. No.
No, okay.
It's not a left or right wing thing. It's just an old thing.
Yeah, these are the things I wanted to clarify before we start.
No,
Because
no problem with that.
not everyone might be aware either, because after all, it's
But
an English expression.
in
It's
all
something.
fairness, it is something that I would have shared with the public.
No, I know, I know. I'm just saying, but this was the question I first had to hand that we need to understand to avoid confusions.
Yes, yes,
We both understand the same thing by Nimby,
yes,
its
yes.
history, and the fact that it is not a political statement. It is more of a class statement. It is something
Well,
applied to middle classes.
it is somewhat of a political statement too, unfortunately.
No, but its expression comes through class, which they then leverage politically, not political in terms of doctrine or stance. Does that make sense?
A little bit, but I think you are missing.
Because no,
Yeah,
because in the history of it, the whole point of it was people were quite happy with X as long as X wasn't anywhere near them.
yeah. But unfortunately, it has also several political overtures.
Overtoned, surely.
Because where it once was like, okay, we want a garbage dump, but we want it over at the poor side of town, not the rich side of town, you could say, well, this is a class-based system. But there are several topics where the NIMBY attitude is also even prevalent, really, that can no longer be considered class-based, but are political-based.
Well, it depends. If you view politics as essentially an extension of class, which I do, then it is still class based because the people who are now called the left are the same middle classes who used to do it when they were on the right.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
not in this case, because there are still right-wing NIMBYs as well.
No, I don't mean that one precludes the other. I'm
No, but
merely saying is that it's the same class expression
the expression is the same, yes.
and it's based on class and based on entitlement and
No, it's
privilege.
based. Okay, it's based on entitlement, yes, but I wouldn't say it's based on class, because when you say it's based on class, you're kind of missing out on a large portion of people who are currently abusing it.
Well, I've never seen working class people do it of any political switch.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you have now.
Have I?
Oh yeah, not for the first time actually.
Have I?
Yeah, you have.
No, I haven't. What have
Okay,
What have I
so
seen that I don't know about?
you haven't noticed anything about the riots in America
I've seen that they are
or
the people
the
they pick in the right are
protests
overwhelmingly middle class. Yeah.
or the no, most of them
Yeah.
aren't middle class, mate.
No. Someone pointed this out, right? There is two types of behaviour manifested. There are the protesters who are local, and there are the rioters who are not.
That's not really
And the
true, because there are plenty rioters that are local. Not all rioters are local, but that doesn't automatically mean that all rioters are not local.
But if they're local, then they cannot be NIMBYs by definition.
Ah, fair
Because
point.
they're doing
but-
it in their backyard.
Yes, but here's the thing, and this is something we saw quite some time ago, and I'm not going to say this now because I'll get to it in a moment, because otherwise I've got this whole thing planned and we're going to do it completely different. So that's not the way I want to do it. Hi there, Nick. Long time no see, mate. We are doing well. If anyone in this chat, by the way, at the moment wants to join, let me know. You are more than welcome. I have invited some people, obviously. I'm sorry I didn't invite you, Ludacris, but I can't find your Twitter handle, so that must have been me. And I didn't send private invitations to the people who are on the who are active on the Discord, because in all fairness, I asked there.
No one is. No one is.
No. I asked in Discord if you want to join. Let me know. So yeah, that's that. And obviously everyone is welcome. So yeah, I'm going to close my Discord for the time being. And hi there, Paolo Costa. And I am going to start with my topic, and then we're going to talk about it. Yeah, see, you don't have Twitter. I thought so.
Because Twitter is cancer.
It is. It really is. I have to admit. Anyway, so what am I going to talk about? Well, I'm going to talk about NIMBYism. I'm talking about the victory of the NIMBY. The victory of the NIMBY? Yes, the victory of the NIMBY. Okay, first off, what is a NIMBY? Well, not in my backyard. As John said, it's mostly class-based. I disagree. I don't think it's class-based. There is plenty of political NIMBYism going around. But in a way you can say political nonsense can be considered class-based as well. It's not really fair. But if you can stretch it, you can stretch it that far. The real issue with NIMBYism is how it drives social narratives. Now, obviously, this is something that goes back as far as we can remember. I can't remember when NIMBY was first coined, but it's a very old acronym. And we see it a lot, for example, when people are talking about green energy. Oh, green energy, so important, green energy. Oh yeah, we need to have green energy. Green energy? Oh yeah, sure, green energy. I want green energy. Okay, that means that we have to put down wind turbines. Yeah, we need to put down wind turbines. Oh, lots of wind turbines. Oh yeah, no, totally agree with the wind turbines. And they're going to be in your backyard. No, they're not. Can't be done there. No, can't have it there. That basically is NIMBYism. People who will agree with you till the very moment they have to actually lose something. So far, so good, John?
Yeah.
Oh, you're far away now.
I don't know why. I haven't moved.
I haven't changed any setting and we can barely hear you.
Windows has probably decided to
Fucking hell. Yeah,
change something at random.
That's really weird. But okay, shit like this does happen quite often.
And Michael should at least be happy for a moment.
Yeah, well, you're quite soft now, mate. Well, let's see how it goes.
I'm always soft, mate. It's my middle class life.
Now, where John, a moment ago, in a conversation with me, pointed out that NIMBY is class-based, I'm going to say, yeah, but it's more than that. Why do I say that? Well, the not in my backyard argument, you hear a lot. For example, with the wind turbines, which is a quite simple one, in the wind turbine argument, you still hear a lot of NIMBYism. Oh yeah, no, it's necessary. Oh, it's very good, but I don't want it in my neighborhood. And funny enough, if we look at the riots going on in America at this point in time, we can easily see that this is also NIMBYism. Now, not all rioters are from the area they riot in. But a lot of them are. But at the same time, people from those neighborhoods are basically saying, take that shit elsewhere. This is something we saw some time ago as well, when people were destroying, they were rioting as well, and they were stealing weaves from a weave shop, and the sister of the one that got killed and would set off the whole riot bullshit was, don't do that shit here, take that shit to the suburbs. As in,
to be fair, Alison Tiemann had a long rant on that subject to say that is exactly what they should do.
Okay, I didn't see that. I have to admit.
And the reason is because they are horribly deprived neighbourhoods.
They are what?
And horribly deprived neighbourhoods. And
right.
the riots will make them economic deserts in perpetuity. Apparently, areas in America that were subjected to riots in the 1960s never recovered.
No, that is true.
And the other thing is this: as long as people don't NIMBY, That is, they riot in their own backyard. The politicians who don't live there can ignore it.
Yeah.
Take it to where the politicians live. Then you'll see a reaction.
Well,
So, tactically and psychologically, that is exactly what they should do.
true. And that's
Because
also
the problem
what they
is
want to
isolation and ghettoization, to break out of the ghetto and cause shit elsewhere.
Yeah.
Not that I want anyone to riot, but if you're going to riot, at least do it, to a purpose.
do. Yeah, it's true. And Michael Keller, you have a very good example of NIMBYism. Everyone wants reception, but no one wants the antenna in their backyard.
Well, it used to be electric pylons back in the day.
Yeah.
I knew people who lived on the edge of the city, and they didn't want electricity pylons in their view. They wanted a nice countryside.
Yeah.
But they also wanted electricity. And they didn't seem to understand that to get the electricity, you need pylons.
But no, it's true. And no, I don't think he's advocating for a 5G antenna.
And I looked it up. Nimby originates in 1980, which just about figures because it was a term common in Britain in the 1980s.
Okay. Anyway, what we're seeing in America now is people rioting in the streets. And what happens, obviously, the political elite and the how do you call them? Hollywood stars. Idiots.
Hollywood parasites, fair enough, are completely willing to pay the bounty, not the bounty, what is it called?
I can't remember words now. That's good. When the judge says, okay, you are allowed to go free if you pay this amount of money, and otherwise you have to wait in prison till we're done. That has
debtors.
Sorry?
Debtors. You used to have debtors.
No, it's
or
not.
It's a fine?
No, it's not a fine, and it's not debt. It's I can't remember now.
Bail?
Bail, that's the word, fucking hell. See, I have a bad day, it is hot, and I can't put my airco on, because if I've got my airco on, you guys can hear me shouting just to be able to be louder than the airco. That is a problem. So I can't have it on now, and... Anyway, excuses. Yes, bail. Thank you very much, and thank you, Ludicrous. So they are willing to pay the bail of rioters, which they continuously keep calling protesters, and I can't understand that so many people in America don't understand the difference between a rioter and a protester. And
it's called political perspective. It's the difference between a freedom fighter and a terrorist. They're the same person, depending upon your point of view.
I know people use it like that, but I mean, a protester is non-violent.
Again, this entirely depends upon your point of view. If you have a political philosophy which includes violence as a given, as long as you are punching up, then your position doesn't hold, because they don't see violence as invalid.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Take that when they hit that punch a Nazi thing. They're fine with violence.
Yeah. As long as it's violence against the people they agree with.
Yeah. And here's the thing, you see. So we can wonder, why is everyone okay with Antifa? Well, we have a problem because they're violent. But if you don't see violence as inherently bad...
Yeah, then what's the problem? True that. Well, anyway, to me, I do see a difference between a protester and a rioter. And that has nothing to do with being black or right-wing or left-wing or all of that nonsense. To me, you are a thug once you start using violence. You're a protester when you use words. Even if those words are considered violence by the left, words are just words. As soon as you start throwing a brick or lighting fire onto something, you are a thug. And as soon as someone dies, you're no longer a thug, you're a murderer. Anyone agree with that so far?
Well, I mean, as I've said before, we have a riot about really tragic death of one man that has already claimed many more lives.
Yes. Yes.
And
the family of that man has already said, guys, don't.
No, but even if they were fully on board,
yeah,
you know, it's the two wrongs don't make a right thing. You don't address the death of somebody by killing more people.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. So yeah, the stupidity is palpable in America at the moment. But back to the Nimby. So, oops, burp. So we have American pop stars and politicians and sports politicians.
And Canadians, Justin Bieber apparently.
Oh, okay. Who are completely willing to buy out the bail set against these rioters.
They can afford the virtue signal. This is the point.
That is true. But as soon as these people start talking about how they are going to riot closer to the homes of these political activists, then all of a sudden they turn around and say, "Oi, you're perfectly fine to burn down your neighborhood.
Yeah.
But don't take that shit over to where I live."
And which is why I stated that the people, the locals...
Well, there are plenty local...
That the locals rioting are not, by definition, NIMBYs. Because they are doing it in their backyard.
Well, true. But there are plenty of people in the black community, because that's where most of the rioting is happening. There are a lot of them who are kind of trying to get the idiots to get away from them.
Of course, because it's always a active minority.
Yeah.
Who, in all situations, all the troublemakers are the active minority. That's all anyone sees. The vast majority are ignored, and then everyone's tarred with the brush of this active minority.
The problem is coming from the thug. And now obviously people say that I'm racist because I call black people thugs, and I'm like, no, I call thugs thugs. You have black thugs and white thugs.
Sorry, why do you keep throwing in these distractions? No one, the people here, right?
Yeah.
We're not going to call you racist for calling a thug a thug.
I know. But I'm trying to paint a picture of what is going on, not in here. So to speak.
Yes, I know, but you're not, because no one out there cares about you. So...
Well, not a lot of them, but I had some nice interaction on Twitter. Obviously being a racist because I use the word thug, and therefore I must think all black people are thugs.
So you have one interaction on Twitter and you extrapolate that to the whole world.
One. I have to admit, it may have been a little bit more than one. And I can understand why people using Twitter will feel that they are being anxious, considering the amount of piling you can get when you don't follow preferred narratives.
Yeah, but that's how those narratives are socially enforced.
True.
Because they, you know, a narrative is false if it has to be enforced in such a manner. Because if it was true, they wouldn't have to.
Very true. And I mean, I have to admit, Nick, thug is a very old English word. Hell, it's not even English because it's derived from Hindu.
You see, we took several words from our time in India.
True. And a thuggy is, well, it's a descriptive term. Am I saying that right, John? Your English?
Oh, no, a thug is a person with violent behaviour, really.
Yeah. But not yet a murderer, because a thug and a murderer...
No. It has nothing to do with it.
No. Well, once you murder, you're a murderer. But till that time, if you just...
No, a thug is just somebody who's prepared to use violence.
Yeah.
As a early resort.
Yeah. But no,
I mean, usually they're reserved for the lower order, but there is no reason why people of any class can't be considered a thug. They're just the middle classes usually wrap themselves up in niceries to avoid the term.
Mm-hmm. And funny enough, I had lots of people on the interwebs, on Twitter, calling me a racist because I keep talking about the black thug. I had to add the word black because if I didn't say black thug, people would automatically assume that I'm only complaining about Antifa being thugs, which they are. But I can't blame Antifa for what's happening. Now, don't get me wrong. Antifa has a big finger in what's going on. I'm pretty sure they are organizing most of the shit we're seeing in America now. But at the same time, it's the young black man who has decided that being a thug is acceptable that is the biggest problem. Because these people are destroying roughly their own neighborhood.
Yeah, but that's more an act of stupidity than anything else.
It is, definitely. But it's still a problem. And I found this interesting cartoon, which I'm showing as my background, that NIMBYism...
Oh, that's an old one.
It is.
It's a good one, too. And I was wondering whether people are going to try and guess which of us was which.
Sorry, you were thinking about what?
Whether the chat were going to work out which of us was which.
I hadn't intended it as such, but...
Well, because you put it up when there was just you, and then I joined, and then there's two fat guys on the street.
That is true, that is true. And Nick's radio, Nick, I'm sorry, but... Yes, the thuggies were the bad guys from the Temple of Doom. They did really exist. They still do, actually. So,
well, according to Wikipedia, that source of all that is authoritative, thug is somebody who is a robber. It derives from the word thief.
The thug doesn't derive from the word thief.
It does, according to... there are different sources. And one says that, and another says derived from swindler or deceiver.
Which is also not true. I mean, all of those things are thuggish behavior, but...
No. We're talking etymologically here. Okay. Where the word derives from.
Well... According, which was it? The Oxford University's etymological blah blah blah.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't trust Oxford or Cambridge with the time of day right now.
True that, but when I looked at it, was a long time ago.
He's calling me a walrus because I'm not a carpenter. You're more of the carpenter.
Walrus and the carpenter.
Yeah, well, I'd have to be the walrus because I'm not a carpenter. I think you could be called.
Goo a jupe, mate. Goo a jupe.
You what?
You didn't get that?
No.
It's from the Beatles.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes, I am he as you are, he as we are, and they're all together. See how they run, see how they snide, see how they cry. I'm crying. That one? The walrus? I'm the walrus? No?
Cuckoo-choo, you mean?
Yeah, cuckoo-choo.
No, you didn't say that. You meant cuckoo-choo. Not the way you said it.
All right, then. I'm not the walrus.
I was talking to Raven, and he was listening to Deep Purple, and there's a line about from Child in Time. I shoot. I forgot what that line is, but I shoot, and I'm waiting for the ricochet.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he put shitting, not shooting.
Ah.
He said shitting, and I said, "What shitting?" He said, "Waiting for the ricochet." I said, "That's shooting." Shitting doesn't even make sense.
And yes, John did say the walrus was Paul.
I didn't. I said the walrus was me.
Oh, this is fun. I'm sorry, but this is fun.
What Paul got to do with anything?
Ah, well, Paul was the walrus, according to John.
Oh, that John.
And that Paul, yes.
No. In this stream, you can only refer to one person by the name John. That's me. Anyone else has to refer to by their surname. So Lennon referred to McCartney as the walrus.
So we can't use John, but we can also not use Paul.
No, I was being equal.
Fair enough.
So if you
Funny
say
as
Lennon,
hell.
you should say McCartney, because that's consistent.
But, yeah. I have no idea where we left. And I'm thoroughly off topic. So, but yeah, no, back to the Nimby. Because NIMBYism and social license, as this thingy is pushing it, this is the thing. We see a lot of people pushing the idea that, look at us, we're doing so good, and oh, we're the right kind of people, and they're the wrong kind of people. But we support the rioters, and we don't call them rioters, we call them protesters, because we agree with what they do, because they burn down their own fucking neighborhood, and as soon as they dare think about coming to our neighborhood, we have an issue. And I mean, it's already been proven that in a lot of places where there were riots, I'm not going to use the word protest for what's happening. They had pallets full of bricks brought to these locations before the rioting started.
Yeah. Apparently this is a standard Antifa tactic.
And I'm like, how can people see this and not realize that this isn't a grassroots movement? This isn't just something that happens?
Just the fact that busloads managed to appear from nowhere within a day shows it's not a grassroots movement, or, you know, because that takes serious infrastructure just to have people able at a moment's notice to set up the organisation.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're going to bus a bunch of people one day, at the very least you're going to have to start ringing around bus companies the day before.
Yeah. And it's amazing how fast those buses, those travel plans were created. I mean, you'd think it would take a little bit longer, but they had everything ready to go within days. And to me, that's.
Well, you only have to go to any left-wing protest, and then when I went to the Tommy Robinson protests and such like, and you look at the difference. At the left-wing protest, there's a huge number of professionally produced signs and banners and this, that, the other. And the vast majority at the Tommy Robinson were handmade and consequently amateurish in comparison. And it showed which of the two sides was grassroots and which of the two was well-funded and organised.
Yeah. It's scary though that apparently both political and media seem to be totally okay with the destruction of their own society, especially if it hits the lower classes.
The media actually stoked it, so of course the media are okay. I mean, the media have no conscience.
No, that's true. They were mightily upset when the CNN building got...
Yeah, funny that.
And nothing really happened there. I mean, they broke a few windows, that's about it.
No, but I mean, I've seen video headlines about journalists having their offices attacked, not understanding why. And it's like, because they are literally detached from reality.
True.
Which is what the NIMBY thing is all about. Everything's fine unless it's an abstract that happens somewhere else. By those people, after all, what can you expect from those people? But not from our kind.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it is their kind doing it. And the politicians, well, they're just going to go after whatever political capital they can get. Either way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why Trump declaring Antifa an illegal a terrorist organization is a good move, in my opinion.
Yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
Trying
is
to
it
think.
in yours?
Sorry?
Is it in yours?
In yours?
Your opinion?
Yes, I was.
You're eating.
Well, that too. Yes, I was trying to think about what I wanted to say, and somehow.
Sorry, it's just it had gone quiet, and you know that's not good in the stream. Dead air.
I thought you were
especially
still
when
talking.
you don't signal to me that I need to keep talking.
No, I was listening, and you kept talking, so I was like, okay.
Well, yeah, and then I thought, shit, I've been rattling on long enough. I ought to let you get a word in edgeways. It's only fair.
Well, fair enough.
it
And
is overdue, Michael.
it is very overdue, and I have to admit that they should have declared Antifa a terrorist organization pretty much the day they got started. Now, I know that was before the Second World War, but they
No, but not in the United States. That was in Germany.
Well,
and the
but
United
that's where
States
Antifa
couldn't really
started.
declare them. Sorry?
That's where Antifa started.
Germany, that's what I said.
Ah.
Not in America. We're talking about the United States declaring them a terrorist
All countries should have declared Antifa a terrorist organization by now.
Well, you
Germany
know this
hasn't
and
yet.
I know this.
Sorry?
You know this and I know this.
True that.
But that's a deflection.
How is it a deflection? I don't...
Because it's irrelevant. They hadn't.
Well, true. But they should have. Puh. But yeah, they haven't. It's
But no, ironically, on the Badger stream, it was the libertarians who were most against this.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't like government overreach and they are afraid of what the government will do, despite the fact that they seem oblivious to the fact that powerful individuals and corporations can wield more power than the government.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
No, it was in Berlin, Green Badger Outdoors. It was in Germany.
You know, Antifa started in Germany, but they called themselves Antifa because of what happened in Italy. The Bolshevik basically politely got the shit kicked in and told to not come back to Italy. And because they wanted...
So that's where the Italians went wrong.
Maybe.
Sorry.
Well,
They let them leave.
They did start fascism because the Bolshevik was attacking the working class Italian
No, I'm
person.
joking. I'm saying because they let them leave.
Well, they did let them leave. And then in
And that's
Germany...
where they went wrong.
Yeah, and in Germany they also tried to fight. This is where the Spartacus revolution comes in.
No, that's not in the right timeline. The
Yeah, it
Spartacus
is.
Revolution happened first.
No, it didn't.
Right?
No, it didn't.
1918.
Yeah, I know.
19.
What?
Right.
Bolshevists.
And then the anti-fascist Antifa wasn't found until 32.
Yeah, let me tell the story, and then you'll see how it all fits together. Because they called themselves anti-fascistic action because they referred to the fact that they got their ass kicked by the fascists in Italy.
Okay.
And they also called the Nazis, or rather the National Socialists of Germany, fascists. And they did so because the National Socialists were kicking their ass in in Germany. And fascism started in 1922, but that's not really true. It started a lot earlier, but it didn't have hands and feet yet. It started in, I think, 1916, when the first groups started fighting back to the Bolsheviks destroying workers' areas. Because the
In
Bolsheviks...
1916. So
Sorry?
you had Bolsheviks in Italy before the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. You had Bolsheviks in Poland and Serbia before the Russian Revolution. In all fairness, the Russian Revolution wasn't supposed to be the first one. They wanted
I mean,
to have.
supposed.
Well, according to the stories.
Expected. You mean expected to be, not supposed.
No. They wanted to have it start in one of the European countries. And that's. Yes, Russia isn't a European country, in my opinion. Oh, come on. It's almost its own continent.
Hate speech.
Well, I recognize that it's bigger than Europe combined. How is that hate?
I'm joking.
Anyway, so yeah, no, they wanted to have it started in one of the European countries, the more powerful, economically powerful countries. It didn't, and what happened in Russia wasn't really what the Bolsheviks at first had planned, and this is why Stalin turned against Lenin eventually. But yeah, no, Russia is a mess. But Europe was a mess too. And they really thought they could get the workers of the world to unite.
Except in 1914 they found out for damn sure they could not.
Well, that too. They've been basically getting their asses handed to them whenever they start violence. That's not really true. There have been 2 countries where they have been reasonably successful in the last, let's say, 60 years. Zimbabwe is a good example, and Venezuela is a good example. Though it seems that they are making headway in South Africa too. But yeah, you can't call them socialists because that's not real socialism.
Well,
and yes,
things get called what they're not, and then they become what they're called instead of what they originally meant, and then we just get confused. Or if, in my case, I start being confused, and then that happens.
And indeed, as John already said in the chat, Paolo, are Russians white? Yes, considering to what postmodernists consider white, the Russians are white because they're Slavic. And I don't like it to call any person white because ethnicity is more important than skin color, because you have different skin color white people, different skin color black people, but for racism, etc., etc. Yeah. And I know, Michael, I won't go real socialism has never been tried, because it has every single time, and it always turns out the same way, because it will always turn out in that same way. Hi there, Geschichte. Long time no see, mate.
He wants a wrench. She wants a wrench. It wants a wrench.
Geschichte is a he, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, you can have a wrench. I don't mind giving him a wrench. There you go. But don't abuse it, please.
Well, it's a white Russian a drink.
Didn't I?
So if white Russians a drink, then
didn't I
that
just
presupposes a contrast to something not white. Just saying. But
there it is. Kijk.
But non-white Russians, right, would be more likely yellow.
And I like white Russians. There is nothing wrong with white Russia.
Yeah, I'm just saying though. But
black Russians are nice too, by the way.
There's a lot of Asiatic and after all, Russia goes as far as just north of Mongolia.
Oh yeah, no, Russia is it's by far the biggest country in the world, if I'm not mistaken. In sheer size. And you get everyone a wrench, yes. Everyone. Listen, I am the, what's her name? Damn it, black woman, talk show host. I forgot her name now. Oprah Winfrey. I'm the Oprah Winfrey of chat. You get a wrench. You get a wrench. You all get a wrench.
He put Oprah long before you said that. This is weird.
Sorry?
Especially as I'm listening in real time.
Ah, right.
He put Oprah Aileron.
I'm sorry, you what for Aileron?
No, he put Oprah Aileron.
Yeah.
But he did that
Yeah, I see. And
a
the
minute before you said it.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't realize, but you're right. I'm sorry, you're right.
No. It's just like freaky. It's like he's psychic.
Oprah Elleron, I can do with that. Or Maud Wayne Winfrey.
Yeah, he has the same dietary issues. But that's been cruel.
No, in all fairness, I do not. I have yet to be found guilty of really, really dieting a lot.
Yeah, well, that's because we're men. We're too sensible.
We're too sensible, yes.
Oh, well, because dieting is futile.
It often is, actually, yeah. I mean,
so we just save the effort.
Movement is the most important part of dieting, which is hard to do. And
also contentment with yourself. Acceptance.
That is very important.
After all, that's what the social justice are keep telling us. Fat acceptance. Well, I accepted my fat a long, long time ago.
And Geschichte, you are correct. Russia is multi-ethnic, which is not so much an issue at all. Funny enough.
Well, which is what I was trying to get at. But they're not black. They are East Asian and
East Asian, European. They've got all ethnicities in there. They also have German. Because don't forget that Russia. Hell, it's called Russia because of the founders.
Scandinavians.
Yeah.
The Vikings.
The Vikings, the Swedish Viking, settled what we now call Russia.
And were the Rus.
And they were the Rus. I have mentioned this before, I hear.
Well, no, I knew that from long, long ago. From reading history.
No, I have to talk to Michael Keller. Michael, that's not nice. We always have topics.
We just don't stick to them. Come on!
Not to stick to them, but we always have a topic. Come on. Today we wanted to talk about NIMBYism. And it's a good way to bring it back to NIMBYism. Because there is a new kind of NIMBYism going around that people really like to push. And that's the Karen meme. The Karen meme is also about NIMBYism. And being an entitled little bitch. But yeah, I mean, the Karens have one set of rules for them and one set of rules for the rest of us.
You mean the people who are called Karens, not the people who are ethnically Karens?
You can't be ethnically Karen.
There was an ethnicity called the Karens, so yes.
Really?
Yes.
I can't remember that.
It probably wasn't spelt the same.
Now I have to look that up. But yes,
the Karen people are an ethno-linguistic group of Sino-Tibetan language-speaking ethnic groups.
All right. Well, there you go. Learn something new every minute on this stream. But yeah, no, I didn't mean the ethnic Karens. I meant the meme Karens. So yeah, there is that. So, in a way, the Karens are the new NIMBYs because they want to speak to the manager because they feel that the other side is doing something wrong. But as soon as people point out how she is wrong, then it's an issue. You can't do that. It's not allowed. Which is rather funny in my humble opinion. And now I'm thinking Karens are not movie villains. I can believe in Karens. No, you cannot believe in Karens. You can't.
I can. Karen's a very good Karen. Karen Strawn, I mean.
Oh, right. Well, you have good Karens. But not all Karens are good. And
no, when I say good Karen, I mean she's an exemplar of the meme. She's a good example.
Okay. Fair enough.
You wouldn't want to face her when she's angry.
Ah. Not to her face anyway. Anyway.
The sort of person who is naturally intimidated. And she is, as whatever his name is called, a middle-aged woman.
So, the Karens you were talking about are Sino-Tibetans?
Yes, I told you. I just searched.
Right.
Karens.
I'm
And it
trying
came
to.
up, and it's spelt the same, and it's the Karen people.
And do they still exist?
Well, unless they've been wiped out. These
That would
groups
mean.
reside primarily in Kayin State, southern and southeastern Myanmar.
What makes them? I mean, are these Karens then appropriating the name? The new
Well,
Karens, not the old.
just remember, there was a people called the Allens.
The Allens.
The Allens. They
Right.
settled in the Balkans, roughly Yugoslavia.
Well, I take your word on that. I don't know all of the different people groups.
Again, it's history because they were one of the Germanic tribes,
Yeah.
causing the Romans problems.
Yeah. Together with the Longobarden and I forgot
The Hun, the Goths, the Visigoths.
the Goth. I thought the Visigoth was later.
Well, they ended up in Portugal.
True.
So
Anyway, yeah, and the Merovingian, but the Merovingian ended up in France. But they started around what we now would
well,
call.
the Franks, the Alemans, the Saxons.
But but the Merovingians aren't Franks, but they called them Franks later.
Well, they called all the French Franks,
Yeah,
even though the Franks were the little group around Paris.
yeah. So
They called the Normans French, and the Normans were bloody Normans.
yes,
It's in the name.
and the Bretonians, but never mind that. But yeah, no, it's names get changed from time to time.
Yeah. Well, I've seen people question whether there ever was such a people as the Celts,
I think there
as
was
opposed to a purely a cultural phenomenon.
Well, I think it was kind of like the Germanics. I think there were several groups of Celts, just like there are several groups of Germanics. That makes the most sense, considering how big the Celtic area used to be.
But I'm not trying to comment. I'm merely saying that basically because it was prehistory, most knowledge is guesswork.
True.
They don't know who the English British, not
Well,
the
the
English,
Britons.
people who are now
Not the British, the Britons.
but the Britons who were in England, not the
Yeah.
Britons. They know who the Britons who were in Wales and Ireland and Scotland, right? But they don't know who the Britons who were in England were, because they arrived by a different route and were a different population.
I thought they were implicated to be part of the Pictic.
No, this is the point. They weren't. The Picts were the Scots.
Yeah.
The English are genetically supposedly similar to the Belgae, but no one knows.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same with the Finnish people,
Yeah.
which are very much Asian, but there is no other Asian group of people living in that area except for them. So yeah, that's also interesting. Because if you look at Scandinavia, most of the groups living there are Germanic, except for the Finns, the Suomi.
Yeah, they inherited the rally driving gene.
The rally driving?
Yeah, all the best rally drivers are Finns. Everyone knows that.
Well, they do have. That's true. They actually race over the water there. I'm not talking about there's a puddle in the on the road. I'm talking lake.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. I mean, maybe I should should see if I
See,
can.
this is much more interesting than Nimbys.
That is true. That is true. I'll see if I can find a nice clip of that, just to make sure that I get demonetized.
Okay. Well, I must admit, I like that Caspian Sea boat the Russians have. You know, the big It's like a ferry boat thing, but it floats above the water.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one. Very impressive. Like it's flying because it's not actually touching the water.
Oh, the first video I see, but it's about Iceland. It's not about Finland.
You're allowed to keep looking.
Yeah, I'm not good at this crap. See, that's the thing. It's not planned.
Don't tell everyone. They might suspect it, but you're just confirming it.
Yeah. If I had planned this shit, it would have been better.
Yeah, but you were going to talk about Nimbys.
And I did. For quite a while.
Yeah, really?
I did. I was there. I should know.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, no, I can't.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think it's a universal human trait when you can to be simultaneously in support of something in theory and against its implications if they affect yourself in practice.
But that's the double thing about the Nimby. I mean, it's dishonest.
No, it's human.
Still, I mean, I'm not saying it's not human behavior, but it is dishonest.
Yeah, but no, okay. So here's this is what I try to say to you, right? So NIMBYism was always a middle class thing in Britain, right? And it's about the entitlement. So it's not that a working class community might not want something near them, but they wouldn't organise and protest about it. It's the entitlement.
Yeah.
The insistence that I'm more important than whatever need is being satisfied.
Mm-hmm. And it's well, I mean, there is a lot of hypocrisy in it as well, and that's something that drives my annoyance, to be honest, because it becomes normal, apparently, for people to expect other people to do what they want them to,
Yeah.
even though they themselves don't want to do this.
But this has been going on. Let's be fair. People have been pointing this out with all these celebrities are cheering on immigration and saying, well, why you've got spare homes, why don't you house people in your spare homes?
Yeah. And then they don't.
And then they don't. Because, why should they incur any inconvenience or cost or whatever?
Yeah.
Even though if you've got 5 homes, you only need 1. So you've got 4 other people can live in at 0 inconvenience.
Yeah. I mean, I like it because this is... What's the name of that English writer with the Harry Potter books and whatnot?
J.K. Rowling.
Yes, that one. I mean, she worked her way up from poverty, so I have respect for the woman. I mean, I have. But she is a NIMBY. She is a huge NIMBY. Telling other people how to do things and then at the same time definitely not wanting to do it herself.
Yeah.
Or what's the one of the female most of the female reporters from the BBC. But this one went to cry her eyes out at the camps in Calais because these poor children, but she didn't take any of them in their place.
Of course not.
She could have.
Because that brand of political activism is about demanding someone else.
Yeah. And that's the problem with the NIMBY. Oh, no,
and it's the cheapest form of virtue signaling.
Yeah.
Because it literally costs nothing.
And,
I'm laughing at Ludacris's comments. I didn't see it, but that sounds hilarious.
I didn't see that one either, but it would make sense. I have to admit, I can see someone walking away from Russell Brand too. I would love to have an interview with the dude, but mostly because that would probably increase my channel size. But some people are famous because they're famous. and he is
No,
one of them.
no, he was a comedian. I mean, come on. You know, he used to
Yeah,
do
but he wasn't.
stand-up.
He's not a comedian on purpose. It's just
No, he used to do stand-up.
true. But that wasn't that great, was it?
Yeah, he was quite funny to the right sort of people. I mean, you got to understand, he is of a type. He's a Jack the Lad, millennial, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that has a market.
Yeah, no, I think you're correct about that. I think you're correct about that. It's a shame, though.
I mean, put it like this. Apparently, he is really attracted to the women. Now, beats me. Okay?
Well, having money does kind of have that influence, effect.
Well, I don't know whether I don't know the sequence. I mean, he was married to Katy Perry.
Ah, yes. I understand now. This is why we have to feel sorry for him. Okay. I can feel sorry for him for a while.
Yeah. No, well, to be fair, he took her to see West Ham United, and you've got to feel sorry for anyone who's subjected to that.
And was he a comedian or a Trevor Noah comedian? Well, indeed, my friend.
Well, before he went to the United States, I had seen Trevor Noah stand up, and some of it was amusing.
Yeah, no, he was actually pretty decent before he turned SJW.
Yeah, before he became a host as opposed to just a stand up.
Yeah, now he's
An asshole in chief.
Yes. Sometimes I have the feeling that he's saying things not so much because he believes that this is what is happening or whatnot, but because he gets told to make this.
I'm going to say it because it's scripted.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. So there is that. Do you guys want to see hydroplaning?
Yes.
Then I'll share it because why the hell not? No, first this, and then we do that, and I'm going. Obviously, this is only
You're
to
all
fill time.
sorry, Green Badger Outdoors. You're all young to me. You're all millennials. Fuck. Sorry.
I'm not a millennial. I'm way too old for that.
No, not you. We talk about Russell Brand.
Oh yeah, he is. Now, I mean, look at how these monster of a machines they actually go over the water. It's so amazing.
Yeah. Not that you could see the machine, you could just spray.
And Trevor Noah used to be a stand-up comedian in South Africa. You can still probably find.
No, he because he most famously offended the Aborigines in Australia.
Yeah, that too. Which is something he would never do again.
No, but it just goes to show how, pardon me, how inauthentic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have to give Green Badgers Outdoor the fact that he is a what they call them, Gen Xer.
Okay. You know, in all fairness,
I don't see. Tommy's I neither know nor care these days.
in all fairness, I don't really care or know about the whole generation thingy. I mean, sometimes people call you a boomer, then you're a Gen Xer, then you are whatever.
Okay, so I'm a boomer. Well, fine.
Yeah, I can live with
Does that make you happy? Giving me a term? I am as old as I am.
Yeah, but what does it mean? Okay, you're a boomer. Yeah, okay. What does that mean? Well, it means this is what you think. No, that's what you think I think. Now, what are you?
I mean, I was at the tail end of the original punk. And you think calling me old is an insult.
Well, it's also true.
But I mean, you know.
But yeah, no, I know what you mean.
I saw Led Zeppelin, for crying out loud. Ha!
Set the old band to the youth.
Yeah, no, but that's the point. It's like, you know, the young are just ignorant because they think, oh, someone's older. But yeah, you can castigate people for what happened in the past because you don't understand it.
Yeah, true that. True that. And it's amazing that people still fall for that, but yeah.
No, that was brilliant. I like that one.
Yeah, it did good.
I mean, those are a bit boring, but the cars with the tires, yeah, they're brilliant.
Yeah.
Don't slow down. Whatever you do.
But it's actually, I've been told it's very difficult to drift. But that's what they're doing. They're drifting on the water.
No, I'm saying, but don't slow down.
Don't slow down, because as soon as you do, you're going to sink.
Yeah.
It's not.
Cool.
Actually, the Dutch highways are the best in the world.
Are they?
They are. It's been confirmed several times. Then again, the Dutch pay the most taxes to keep the roads going, so it's not that weird. But yeah, no, we have the best. How do you call it? Not drainage, but to get the water, to make sure the water doesn't stay on the highway.
Mm-hmm.
We have the best system for that.
Well, it is drainage.
What do you mean that's strange?
That is drainage.
Drainage, yeah. And we have ZOAP, which
Okay. I hope you get better.
Well, ZOAP is actually a Dutch term. It means zeer open asfaltbeton. Translated, very open asphalt concrete.
Ah.
So they make roads with that stuff, so when it rains, the water drains out. Or rather, it drains to the next level.
Is it climate sensitive, though? I mean, would it just disintegrate in if it froze a lot?
Eventually, it would be broken, but that's true for all concrete.
No, I know. I'm just thinking. You know, if you've got a porous concrete,
yeah,
it's going to be prone to expansion damage from ice when it's cold.
Yeah, it seems to be able to handle it reasonably well, but yeah, you know, roads do need regular maintenance. And no, of course I have soap, but that's not the point, Ludicrous.
Yeah, but electricity and everything. Allegedly.
Electricity?
Yeah, it's a joke.
Oh, I didn't get it.
Yeah, you have soap, as if you didn't have soap because you're uncivilized. And that's what I say, and you have electricity and everything.
Oh, right. That's fine, you can explain away. But yeah, no, there is that. I'm not quite sure what to say now.
Well, how do you follow cars skimming across the water?
There is that. I mean, obviously that's just amazing. I could show you rabbits again. Well, pictures of them.
Okay, but that's not conversation. That's just visual distraction.
A visual distraction. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like there are any solutions to these sorts of problems. The original topic about NIMBYs, rioters, and so forth.
No.
I mean, there are, but nothing that politicians would actually do.
No, it's because they don't care, and that's the strange thing. Because if we look,
I don't like to be uncharitable. I don't think it's that they don't care. I think it's that they realise it's too difficult.
Maybe.
You see, the one thing worse than not doing anything is doing something and failing.
Mm-hmm. But I have the feeling that that's what our politicians have been doing for the last 80 years.
No. But what they do is they virtue signal about what things they can do,
mm-hmm.
but they don't address the problems in ways that would actually resolve them because they're too difficult.
Yeah.
And so, because failure is worse than not doing anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, I sometimes I have the feeling that they actually.
Food from Portugal.
Well,
He's trying to trigger you, by the way.
no, Paolo. And yes, I don't mind people eating rabbits. I know they do. People eat chicken, and they're nice animals too. Hell, in China they eat dogs, and they're just stupid. But then they get the world with a sickness and all that.
Isn't Bunny Island Australia?
No, this is in Japan. I
No,
think.
I'm joking. Isn't Bunny Island Australia? Because they took rabbits
Right.
to Australia. There were no natural predators,
And now they have.
and then they had a rabbit problem.
It's not really true that they didn't have a natural predator. By the way, they did. Snakes, for example, but there weren't enough natural predators, and rabbits survive by spreading and breeding.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you have 100 predators, that's okay because there are 1,000 rabbits coming out every half a year.
Yeah.
Exponentially so, by the way. So
Especially if you've got all that grassland used for sheep.
Rabbits like that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, all these rabbits you're seeing are
Japanese.
well, that too. But they are bred rabbits. They're not wild rabbits. They live in the wild now, or only on the island, but they never lived in the wild itself. You can see by the colors.
That all brown one looks like a native British rabbit, to be honest.
Sorry?
The all brown one. They showed one that was all brown.
Yeah.
That wild British rabbits, I like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the hairy one you saw a moment ago, that must have been from someone's. And yes, I mean, look at these. It's just beautiful. See, now I don't believe in a deity, but if there was a deity, that would explain rabbits.
A deity.
Yeah, that too. I hope you like.
I thought you said a DT. I thought, what's a DT?
The COVID number 5 video was pretty funny, by the way, Ludicrous. Didn't I give you a like on that one?
I just wanted to know what the fuck it was.
It was a very silly.
I know.
Oh.
And I might recover one day.
Yeah. And if there is any place in the world that I would really like to go, this is probably the first one that I really want to go.
Okay.
And probably never will, because
I should think it'd be a little bit of an excessive journey.
it will be an excessive journey, that's for sure. But it's just beautiful.
Oh, I gave it a light, Ludicrous. I just feel traumatized from the experience.
Feel traumatized from experience. Well, oh, look at that. That's definitely not a wild rabbit, and that's definitely not a wild rabbit. Their colors are way too bright. I mean, the dark one, this one you see in front, yeah, that's a wild rabbit. The color is wild. The color is literally called wild.
Uh-huh.
So yes, I'm sorry. I'm paying way too much attention to the background video now.
The only trouble is for me, I get confused because I'm listening to you and watching the video out of synchronization.
That is true. I am sorry. You are completely correct. Unfortunately,
But that's fine. No, it's fine. It's just I was going in the foreground. There's no rabbits in the foreground because at the time there weren't.
yeah, no, you're correct. Unfortunately, every time I try to share on Hangout, it somehow turns my what I broadcast to you becomes blinky.
No, I know. Don't worry. Don't worry. I was just explaining my confusion
Fair point.
beyond just being me.
But yeah, no, a wild color is brown with black.
Uh-huh.
So yeah. I'm sorry. I'm totally looking at the video and
What are you saying, Michael?
I think you should.
He's a happily married man.
What do I need to watch is Bunny Prawn now. I do like bunnies though. I really do.
Yeah, that's not what he's getting at.
No, that's not what he's getting at. I know. I'll turn it off. Sorry. There you go. Don't you just love bunnies? So there are now 2 videos that will be demonetizing my video, which is all good and well.
Okay.
Because I'm not monetized anyway. So.
If you're not monetized anyway, exactly. So it's like, is that narcissistic of me? I've just liked the stream even though I'm on.
I appreciate all the likes. Like, shares and subscribes, people. All of you are already subscribed. But likes and type stuff in the chat. Make
you see
comments.
what you should have done is you should have titled the video Japanese Bunnies. Right?
Yeah.
You'd have attracted a diverse audience of people for all the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we could have talked about Tweedledum. Tweedledee.
True that. I've actually seriously looked into the whole how do you call that? It has a name. Trying to draw people in.
Clickbait.
Clickbait, yes. I've actually thought about clickbait titles and clickbait thumbnails, and I'm like, yeah, no, not gonna do it. I mean, if you go back on my channel, you will see a few clickbait thumbs and a few clickbait titles, but yeah, not a lot, because it's you know what I mean.
Oh, dear.
The DTs are what alcoholics get when they come off the booze. What's a DT? I'm not a
delirium treatment.
Oh. And I'm not a secret furry. I've got fur all over my body.
Yeah, he's not.
My wife can attest to that. Ba-doom-tsh. Sorry. What did you want to say, John?
Nothing. And moderator's going, I never thought I'd see you today.
Well, yeah. No, I mean, but if we look at the Nimby, just to bring it a little bit back, there is.
I tried.
You tried what? To bring it back on the Nimby?
Yeah, I said there's not a lot we can do, and and then we got into politicians and.
But that's the worst part, because most of the Nimbys are sheep. But they are the sheep that tell other sheep to do what they need to do, but not what they themselves should do. One rule for you, one rule for me. And it's so funny, because throughout the whole of the Western world, we've been talking for weeks now how we should stay at least 1.5 meters away from each other, and you have to stay indoors, and blah 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 blah. And now there is this rioting going on, and all of a sudden it's okay to go outside. So yeah.
Well, it's not okay to riot, so I don't know how it's okay to go outside.
But no, in the Netherlands, we also had a Black Lives Matter demonstration in Amsterdam.
The point is that the restrictions should have been lifted sooner, just about everywhere.
Yes.
We had already, in the United Kingdom or in England, we had already been lifting the restrictions somewhat.
Yeah, but no,
the schools are open again.
It should have been restricted, I'm going to say, roughly 3 months ago.
Yeah, I know, fine. And this is my point. So it's like, when you say suddenly, according to whom? According to much
that's
of the
population. Thing, though. The restrictions are still not limited. The restrictions aren't limited, but they somehow don't apply to the rioters.
No, you say they aren't limited. You mean they are... No, I was going to say, you mean lifted.
Well,
no, but they are lifted. Here. This is my point. The schools are back open.
Well...
We are on a transition back to normal. It might
yes, but you still have to stay 1.5 meters away from each other.
Oh, you mean that restriction? You see, we didn't specify. You said the restrictions.
Well, isn't that the main one?
No.
I would think it is.
No, the main one is staying indoors.
Oh. Well,
which was always a nonsense, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's actually bad for your health, but that's a...
Well, it's not just that, but it's stupid. Because the one place it's more safe to associate with people is in the outdoors.
Yes, funny enough, that is true.
Yeah. And yet that's the one place it cracked down on it. Why? Because they could. Not because it made sense, but because they could.
Yeah. It's kind of dangerous when people keep doing shit like that. And I mean, people are talking about, yeah, but they're justified because the riots in America, blah de blah de blah de blah. And I'm like, guys, I mean, there are actually people. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying, what has that to do with your country?
Well, that too, but somehow because in Amsterdam they were allowed to protest. They didn't riot as such. They protested, fair enough. They were allowed to protest because the political party of the mayor of Amsterdam is in favor of this. Even though in the Netherlands we still have this 1.5 meter rule, and that hasn't been lifted.
But as I say, what the fuck has anything to do with a Dutch person that happened in the States?
Well, it's nothing. It's just virtue signalling. But there are Dutch people complaining. There are Dutch people complaining how racist the Netherlands were. I even had someone on Twitter say, well, but I know of a Dutch shop where black people aren't welcome. The first thing I said is, okay, can you link it? Because that's a good way to make money for me. Because by law, that's not allowed.
Yeah.
And then obviously I was a racist for saying that, but I never got that
you were
link.
a racist for asking for some information.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have been saying, good, so I will publicise this so no one uses that shop. You think they'd be in favour?
Hell, there are shops in the Netherlands who are actively campaigning against Black Pete, which is a... Fucking hell, that's actually a symbol against slavery.
Yeah, no, I know. We've had this every year. But my point is that, it's like people come up with these bullshit examples. And if they get hostile the minute you ask for more information, it just proves they're lying.
Yeah. And they are lying. But that's the thing, though. The whole Black Lives Matter thing is really...
a lie. Outside of the United States, it's a lie. And inside the United States, it's a horrible feminist... what's the word? Abomination.
True that. It's
Germany allows resuscitation again.
I didn't know they stopped resuscitating people.
Yeah, well... I know it's a lie in the US, Nick, but it's an abomination, is what I'm saying. It's not this. Everywhere else, even the premise doesn't stand, if you know what I mean. We do not have the same racial history and racial divisions in this country or in Europe that they ever had, that they've had in the United States.
Anyway,
the BOE says to prepare for a no-deal Brexit. Yay! Good news, indeed.
Well, I mean, begins to prepare for a no-deal Brexit. Was there ever any other option?
Yeah, because supposedly they were negotiating.
Yeah, but they...
And by supposedly, I mean idiots thought they would.
No, but I mean, the negotiation thing constantly has been the UK has to do this. And I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
That's not negotiating. That's...
Yeah, exactly.
That's really weird.
But is it the end of June? The next deadline? The next deadline's the end of June.
I think so.
To agree a trade deal.
I don't understand why it's taking so long, to be honest. The British government should have said, okay, we're done, bye-bye.
No, because it's not that. It's you have to have a degree of real politics, right? Okay? Because the problem was the previous administration under Theresa May went along with this bullshit that until we declared to leave, nothing could happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was always, oh, well, not until we've done a trade deal, and we're not doing a trade deal till you actually leave. That's what the 30th of December was.
Mm-hmm.
Us finally saying, right, we've left. So according to the whole EU's attitude, position, nothing was going to get agreed until after that point. Mm-hmm. So that was the EU's position.
Yeah.
But you've still got enough people who, you've got business interests, and you've got enough people who with influence who are Remainers. You can't just walk out overnight. So you had Boris Johnson laid out the timetable: 6 months to negotiate, then 6 months to implement the consequences of the negotiation.
One sec. Ludicrous and Nick, I'm sorry to see you go, but I see you guys next time, mate. Thanks that you were here.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I think
enjoy your dinner.
Yeah, bon appetit. I think it's a good time to call it quits, though. We've been busy for 1.5 hours, and
we've been prattling on about next to nothing.
Yeah.
But until we got Ludicrous teasing us with some good news.
There is that.
That wasn't actually news.
Shh. Don't say that.
No, I mean, anyone with a brain knew what was going to happen.
Still, don't say it. Anyway, this is where we're going to call it quits. I'll probably make some videos on YouTube soonish, but I haven't for quite a while. And I'm
busy.
Pretty sure John will do too, but he hasn't done for quite a while.
What do you mean I will do? I have no intention of disturbing the mental equilibrium of people.
Fair enough. Anyway, thank you all for coming. By Nick and by Ludicrous and by Michael Keller and by Paolo and by Green Badger and
Badger Outdoors
and by Muggeschichte. I'm not sure if you're still
I think they've all left because there's only 4 watching now.
Yeah.
And we're 2.
So this is where we're going to call it quits. I thank you all for coming, and bye-bye.
Bye.